What up? What up? It's Mike and EJ Sportscast, and we haven't done an episode in about a week. So
In a
this is the
minute.
first episode back in about a week or almost no, a week. No, I don't think it's been two. So we got some good stuff this week. We're talking Bears, good things, some bad rumors that I've heard. But other than that, it should be a good show. Got my man's EJ here. Anything special you want to talk about today, EJ?
Let's just get into stuff that we like missed. And I guess we can talk about how Dez Newsome, he's out for a while. He's gonna have to. I think what broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
We can talk about the NFC North, how that's looking this year. I guess we can talk about it with or without Aaron Rodgers, and then we could also show some highlights, from OTAs and stuff. You gotta take a look at that, and then
Yes,
just chop it up, see what we come up with, man.
So as far as the Newsome injury, do we know how long he's out? Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and look it up if you don't know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I know they said he should be back for training camp, I think it was, because he's gonna have to have surgery for it.
That's what I heard the last time they were talking about it.
Yeah, it kind of sucked. It kind of sucks that dude just came to the league already about to have surgery. It's like it's still early, but let's hope this dude don't turn into another Kevin White. All right.
Right. Luckily, he wasn't a first round pick, so it looks like he's out for 8 weeks, and he's due back for training camp.
Cool.
So he ain't gonna be out that long. So he'll still have a chance to earn some reps, to earn some type of playing time. I mean, you said it last week. I think we watched a video where he was saying that, or a couple weeks ago, he was saying that he knows he was a 6th round pick, so he has to go out there, earn a spot and play. So humble guy. We like what we hear from him, and God bless, and I hope he gets better because we need all the weapons that we can use. Good thing is that he was at some of the OTAs, obviously, before he got injured. So he's in a couple of the highlights that we have from Justin Fields at OTA. So, he at least got a couple of reps before he went down. But the speedy recovery, bro. As far as the NFC North, the great news is that we're hearing a lot of Aaron Rodgers either moving on or, he's just not happy with the team. So that, to me, that's a distraction for the Packers. They're going to be thinking less about football and getting ready. And they're going to be thinking more about, okay, who is our future quarterback? Do we have to let these other guys get number 1 reps? We don't know when Aaron Rodgers is coming back. So I love it.
Yeah, man. Like every day I'm hearing about him possibly leaving. It's like, yes, please leave. Because it's like dude been dominating the division. It's just like he came to the league pretty much. Well, when he became the starter when Favre left. But it's like we haven't been able to do nothing with him. And it's like I talked to a couple of my coworkers at work about how, we complain about, what management has done for our organization, but let's put yourself in the shoes of a Packers fan. You got 2 back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks, all right, who played what? Add up the total years they've played, it's like what, close to 30, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like how many? And they've only won 2 Super Bowls. So it's like, as a Packers fan, you got to be thinking like, man, we kind of wasted both of their careers. Like,
Agreed.
If you think about it, Rodgers only been to 1 Super Bowl. At least Favre got to 2. It's
right.
Like, and he came close to another one, but that wasn't with the Packers, as with the Vikings. So it's like, it's just amazing how you get 2 back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks, surefire Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and you only get 2 Super Bowls out of it. It's like, they've been dominating the division, but they haven't really done much with it. They haven't won any Super Bowls. They won 2 Super Bowls. So it's like, if Rodgers leaves, exactly. If Rodgers leaves, like, you got to think if we can like get ourselves back on track, we can like retake the division. Because I'm not afraid of the Vikings, with Kirk Cousins. Ain't nobody afraid of the Lions. They got Jared Goff. So it's like we got a chance to retake this division if the Packers, if Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers, which is, it kind of looks like that's where it's headed because they just seem like they just completely button heads.
I agree, and half of the reason I feel like, honestly, in the Brett Favre years, it wasn't a lack of talent because they had so many offensive weapons around him, and they had a decent defense. Ultimately, it probably came down to the coaching. I mean, who they had for a long time, Mike McCarthy. Yeah, you see his first year with Dallas, how bad they were. I mean, yeah, Dak goes down, but before Dak even went down, they still weren't that good. But just to go off of what you're saying with the Bears being able to be dominant in the North, not only do they have a chance to reclaim the North, but they have a chance to redo that for a long time. I mean, especially if Justin Fields pans out.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, as Bears fans, that's what we're hoping for. We're not trying to accelerate the process neither. We do know that quarterbacks that sit for a while do tend to do better than not. But then we also see guys that get thrown into fire. Like Justin Herbert or the guy over there in the Browns, he got thrown into the fire his first year. Who's the quarterback? Baker Mayfield. Yeah, he got thrown into the fire his first year, brought them back, won the game. So it's like these guys come out ready. They not only is there more film on everything nowadays, these guys play more, they practice more than guys maybe 20, 25 years ago. So they come in ready. And hopefully Justin Fields, when he gets his shot, he's going to be ready. So I definitely hope what you're saying is true, that we're going to be dominant for a while. And there's a high chance that we will be. Like you said, we don't fear the Vikings. Cousins has had one good game against us, and that was last year. The Lions weren't like any much better with Matthew Stafford than they are now with Goff. Mm-hmm. So definitely not worried about them. And obviously we spoke about the Packers. So it's a good chance. They just got to play their cards right.
Yeah.
I wanted to play this small clip that I found kind of interesting when I was doing a little bit of my own research. I'm going to go ahead and play it real quick.
From a very short and abbreviated practice out on the practice fields at Halas Hall, Brad, first of all, how you doing? Second of all, what did you make of the lack of defensive turnout at that practice we watched this afternoon?
Well, you got to have a short practice unless you want to run the few defensive players that you have that are ragged, Dan. And the most noticeable thing was how many defensive players you're accustomed to seeing were not noticed at practice. Roquan Smith was the only starter that was there, unless you've already penciled in Desmond Trufant, free agent signing on a minimum deal as a starter at cornerback. Then you'd have two of them out there. A bunch of guys running around with the defense that might not be with the team in September. That's what it looked like to me. Now, most all of the offensive guys were there with the exception of Allen Robinson. And apparently, according to Matt Nagy, Nick Foles got some personal matters to tend to, but has had excellent attendance this spring. Otherwise, you weren't expecting Allen Robinson to be there, but all the other offensive guys were there. The defensive guys that have a new coordinator in charge,
right,
elsewhere.
That's what I wanted to show right there. I found that interesting that he was saying that typically, no matter who's the head coach, the defensive guys tend to come in for OTAs, even though it's voluntary, just to kind of show leadership and to kind of, just get the feel, they're starting to get back into the season. So to kind of get the feeling, they don't want to lose their spots neither, have coaches start favoring other guys that, came and showed up. But this year, for whatever reason, the core guys, including Khalil Mack, weren't there. He said the most notable defensive starter that was there was Roquan Smith. Which I hats off to the guy. We love Roquan Smith. He puts his hat down. He goes to work. So I'm not surprised that he was there, but I kind of don't like the fact that our starters weren't there, having a new defensive coordinator.
Yeah, man, it's like that's a little concerning. Like, I'm curious as to why, because like you said, usually those guys would be there, but whatever reason this year, just like nah, we good. But for what reason? It's like, especially when you got a new defensive coordinator. Like, yeah, he's been with the staff for a while. But this is his first time as the defensive coordinator. You figure he'd get a better turnout than just one defensive starter, and then, possibly a second with Desmond Trufant. But
exactly,
it's like, I don't know, man. That's kind of weird.
Agreed. It's just weird that it sounds like most of the starters were there except for Allen Robinson. And obviously he's mad he didn't get a new deal, so he's kind of being a diva right now, which is more than understandable. He's still gonna get like $18 million, I think, or something crazy like that this year, because the franchise tagged him. So not sure why he's being a diva, but either way, he'll go to work when it's time to go to work. We don't have no doubts about Allen Robinson. I mean, you saw how well he handled that situation last year. He played well without no new contract. He could have possibly got hurt, any number of things, and he handled it like a professional. So, shout out to him. I love his professionalism. And obviously I love him as a player too. Wish he was a little bit faster. But God didn't give him that talent. Let's move on to the schedule, man. We got a rugged schedule. Let's go. Let's check it out, man. Because I know that, and then we gotta talk about Andy Dalton too, man. Because I haven't heard nothing bad, and I haven't heard nothing good neither. So I'm a little worried about week 1 already. And we're still like 2 months away.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, you don't hear. I mean, a lot of talk you hear is about. Justin Fields, obviously, he's a big deal in Chicago right now. It's the first time we've had a quarterback of this possible caliber, like forever. So it's like there's a lot of excitement going on around him. Nobody really cares about, Andy Dalton. So it's like,
right.
It's kind of like all the news about the quarterbacks is mostly talking about him. Should he start or whatever over Dalton week 1? We both made our opinions on that, but as far as that situation goes, like, I don't know. We could look at the schedule, and I said I think the best time for him to start would be. Let me put it up real quick. Hold on, let me remove that. Would be that week 4 game against the Lions, because they start out Sunday Night Football. They got the Rams. Then they go back home to play the Bengals. Then they got Cleveland, which is a playoff team. And I'm thinking, okay, if he struggles, I mean, that Bengals game, you think, okay, the Bengals, they weren't that great last year, but you got to think, I feel like they might be better this year. They could be a surprise team. You never know. The Browns, they were a playoff team last year. They might be good again this year. Wouldn't be surprised. So it's like, let's say they go 0-3. You would think, okay, maybe Matt Nagy's coaching for his job. That week 4 game might be the game where it's like, you know what? Fields is ready. Let's give it a go. Let's put him out there. Let's see how he does. Because, it ain't working with Dalton, and this is my last chance as a Chicago Bear head coach. Like, I got to make a splash or I'm out of here. So it's like that could be the game that we see him play. True. If that ends up happening, if he doesn't start from the jump, which honestly I don't see that happening, because they're like big on Andy Dalton being QB1 to start. Like Andy Dalton's our QB1, blah blah blah. Every time you ask him about it, he's QB1. He's QB1. Fields is. They say good things about Fields, but they say he still needs to progress. Blah blah blah. Andy Dalton's our quarterback 1. So it's like, unless he gets hurt, Dalton gets hurt, or whatever. Honestly, I do see Dalton starting, or it's Dalton starting week 1, not Fields. But if they struggle out the gate, I think the perfect time to bring them in is that game against the Lions week 4. That's my opinion.
I agree, and the game right after too is not even that tough of a game. Like, yeah, the Raiders are a good team, but I wouldn't say they're elite. They don't. So there's a chance, like, they don't have the most stout defense. They have a good defense, and then we spoke on Green Bay. They might not even have Aaron Rodgers at that point. So that could, if they're building. Technically, they're building more than we are because we've been building for a while. So I feel like we could take that game easily. And then after that, Bucks game would be another tough one. And then the 49ers and then the Steelers. So it gets tough again. But at least he gets a stretch. If he does start, which like what you're saying is genius, because if he does start the Lions, he gets that Raiders game. He gets that Packers game where that's like pretty much practice games. You're not going against nobody elite. Then right after that, picks back up for about 4 games where you're playing at least tier 1 to tier 2 quarterbacks.
Yep.
If the rookie is not starting for San Francisco, I forgot what the name of the rookie that they picked up. But who knows if he's starting too? Yeah, Trey Lance, exactly. Who knows if he's starting by then? So you could literally be speaking it into existence of how, because like the more that I'm thinking about it, that makes a lot of sense. You let Dalton start the first couple of games, let the rookie sit out a couple of games. So we'll see. If Dalton's doing good, then just keep him in. Obviously, don't. It's like a guy's coming off the bench. If the team's already high, like just let them continue being hot until they cool off. So it's like wait. So Andy Dalton messes up.
Right. Yeah, like you said, if like Dalton comes out of the gate hot and they win, let's say those first 3 games before week 4, they go like 3-1, maybe even 2-2. It's like, okay, 2-2, I'm thinking 3-1. It's like definitely you gonna keep Fields sitting behind him. You don't want this to be a situation like last year with the Dolphins, how they like threw Tua in there was like, okay, now he's ready. But then Tua kind of struggled. Then they brought Fitzpatrick back in. Then they brought Tua back in. You don't want that type of situation. If Justin Fields ends up being starting at some point during the season, he needs to remain a starter. It can't be a situation where it's like, well, we're kind of like a playoff team or whatever. So let's insert the veteran back in there. Oh, but we gotta let our rookie play. The fans want him, and he has to progress. This is a future of our franchise. Let's get Tua back in. No, we don't want a situation like that. We want it to be either or. Either you won't have Fields play at some point during the season if they decide to bench Dalton, or just let Dalton play it out and let Fields have the reins next year. But don't do this like roller coaster type, seesaw type crap, because that's not going to work. That's going to mess up. That could possibly mess up Fields. You know what I'm saying? It can mess. Who knows? It might. I don't think it would, but it could possibly mess with his confidence. Constantly getting benched a couple times during the year because he may have struggled or something. So it's like, that's just something to think about.
And honestly, I don't think if he does come in, he's not going to struggle very much.
I don't think so either.
He has good legs. So at least if he's not making reads, and he gets in dangerous situations, he'll at least be able to get out of it. So I'm not too worried. I just, like you said, I don't want it to be a carousel where they're like, okay, yeah, you're in. All right, you're out next week. And then this guy's in next week. And, this is right now we got 3 quarterbacks. So when you have 3 quarterbacks, you have none. That's what I hear. You got 2 quarterbacks, you have none. So same deal. I see you have some other team schedules on here.
Yeah.
Is this our division?
Yeah.
Okay, this looks like our division. Yep.
Yeah, I got all the teams in the division this year. So it's like we could take a look at it, possibly see how we think that'll play out. Let me see. So pull up the Vikings. So here goes Minnesota's schedule.
Okay.
And, And because they're in the same division as the Bears, they're gonna share like teams they play. So they got to play the Bengals,
True.
the Browns, the Ravens, and the Steelers. They got to play them too. And obviously, they play each other. So I don't know. Looking at the schedule, I don't think the Vikings is gonna be that great of a team this year. I don't remember what their record was last year, but honestly, they still got Kirk Cousins, and they drafted one of the guys we talked about. In the beginning of the year before when we were talking about potential quarterbacks for us, they got Kellen Mond as their backup. Who knows?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they drafted him. So who knows? He might end up playing at some point this season.
Right. Yeah, we like them.
Yeah. So for whatever happens with Kirk Cousins, but I don't know. Bengals. I could see the Bengals possibly upsetting them in that game, but I think the Vikings will win that. At Cardinals, I think that's a loss. At home against the Seahawks, I think they'll lose that game. Browns, I think that's a loss. Lions, that could go either way, but I think they might win that game. Panthers, I don't know about that one.
It depends who their quarterback.
Yeah, like they got what's his name, right, from the Jets? What the heck is that kid's name?
Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold. So they got him.
Yeah.
That's another one that go anyway. The Cowboys will have Dak Prescott back, so they could probably lose that game. Ravens, definitely see them losing that game. Chargers, I think they'll lose that game. Packers, depending on who's the quarterback, that could be an L. 49ers got a good defense. I feel like they'll be better this year if they all healthy, so I think they could lose that one. Then you got the Lions. I think they'll split with the Lions, so probably the Lions will win that one. Steelers, think that's a loss. And then, wow, I didn't realize that we played them
so
2
late.
times. 2 times in the last 4 games of the season. So I don't know. I think we'll sweep them again this year. So I think they'll lose that game. Rams, they'll be better. That's a loss. Packers, depending on who's the quarterback, I think that'll be a split. If Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, that'll be a split. If Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback, they'll go 0-2 against him. Like I said, I don't think they're gonna beat us once this year. So I think they're gonna be pretty bad. Not gonna lie.
So yeah, you got them plus 10 losses.
Yeah, I don't think the Vikings is gonna be good this year. I don't know if that's me being biased as a Bears fan.
No, not at all. Their best piece is an offensive weapon, bro. It's Jefferson, right?
Yeah.
That's the rookie's name. That's their best piece right now because they got rid of Rhodes. They still have what's the safety's name? He's really, really good. I like him. White boy. What's his name?
I know what you're talking about. I'm drawing a blank on his name too. Crap.
But yeah, like they still have a couple guys, but they have nobody that's gonna make you like lose some sleep. You're not losing sleep over Kirk Cousins. 9 times out of 10 he's gonna overthrow, or he's not gonna throw it and get sacked. So they possibly could be last place. Let's move on to the Lions schedule here. Let's see what they got going on. Okay, so like you said, they pretty much play all the same games we play.
Mm-hmm.
So that San Francisco game, that's an L. Depending on who's quarterback for Green Bay, that's an L. So that's 3 L's back to back because they're losing their Ravens.
Yep.
They're losing to us. That's 4. Like you said, they could split with the Vikings. I'll give the Vikings their first win there. So that's another L. The Bengals, the Bengals are going to be good because they have Joe Burrow coming back. So that's another L. So they could possibly start off with 6 losses in a row, bro.
Yeah, man. And look it could be 7 because look who the next game is. They got the Rams.
And the Rams are going to want to get back at Goff.
Yep.
That's another L. The Eagles have what's his name? The quarterback. He's pretty decent. That's why they gave up on Wentz.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. There you go. So that could be another L. So they can have 8 L's by the bye week, bro.
Yeah, honestly, looking at that schedule, I would not be surprised. Their schedule starts off pretty brutal. Not gonna
I thought
lie.
our schedule was bad, bro. This is worse.
Yeah, they schedule is pretty top heavy. Not gonna lie. Like, dang.
So I'm not even gonna finish. That's how bad that team is gonna be. I have them plus 12 losses. So that's already two teams that aren't gonna do much. And I'll let you finish with Green Bay's schedule here. So it's
All right,
looking pretty good for the Bears.
Yeah, so
They have a chance to win the division, guys.
so Green Bay, they start off against the Saints, even with Aaron Rodgers. Well, Saints ain't got Drew Brees no more. I gotta.
That's true.
I
Yes, he
forgot about
retired.
Yeah, they don't have
Forgot
Drew Brees no more, so that could be actually the Packers probably will end up winning that game because who's going to be the quarterback? Famous Jameis? I don't know, man. I think Packers might get even though that's a tough place to play. I don't know. I got it 50-50, but I think the Packers might win that one. Then the Lions, that should be a win. 49ers, depending on who's the quarterback, because like I said, the defense of the Niners is going to be improved. And I already know they're going to have a good running game. So that could be an L depending on if Rodgers is there or not. Steelers, even with Rodgers, I think they'll lose that game. Bengals, I think they'll with Rodgers, I think they'll win that game. Without Rodgers, I can see that going either way. At Bears, I think we'll get them the first game. I'm like, who's WTF or WFT? That's the Washington football team. I think they'll win that game with or without Rodgers. That's a weak division. At Cardinals, I think that's an L. At Chiefs, that's definitely an L with or without Rodgers. Seahawks with Rodgers, that's going to be a good one. Without Rodgers, that's a definite L. Vikings, I think they'll win that game with or without Rodgers. Rams, that could be an L either way because the Rams are going to be better, and they were good last year. Then you got the Bears. I think if they got Rodgers, I think we're gonna split with them this year. But this is at home against the Bears.
He does well at our house.
Yeah, so that could be either way. Ravens, that's at Ravens. I got the Ravens win there with or without Rodgers. Browns with that's on Christmas Day. Oh wow. Browns. Browns, I think with Rodgers they'll win. Without Rodgers, that's an L. Vikings with Rodgers, that's an L. Without Rodgers, I think that's 50-50. And Lions with or without Rodgers, I think that's going to be an L for the Lions. I think the Packers will win that one.
So you got more games than the rest of the two. So obviously they're going to be our toughest competition, as usual. Nothing new there. I don't know. I'm more waiting to see what's going to happen with Rodgers. That's really going to shape the entire NFC North. Like, if Rodgers stays, obviously they're really good in the regular season. They'll probably win the division, especially if we got a rookie quarterback possibly that could start, or we have Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully within the next month or so, because it's already June. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when does training camp start? That's August, right?
Yeah, I think training camp starts in August.
So more than likely we'll know either next month or like literally at the start of training camp what's going to happen with Rodgers.
Either training camp starts in early August or late July. One of those two. I forget.
Either way, we're not too far,
Right.
We're a lot closer than when we were after the Super Bowl. So hopefully, honestly, I really hope that he ends up leaving the NFC, period. I'd rather him go to the AFC, but I don't know. Like, do you really think the Packers are going to let go pretty much the only thing right now that's going to make them even relevant? So, because I mean, they're owned by the people or something like that. It's not like one person's the owner of the Packers that makes all the decisions. So it's like,
right.
We'll see what happens as far as that. But back on to the Bears news. I got a couple highlights here of Justin Fields at OTAs. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you guys right now. Just see a couple throws. Obviously, right now it's just there's Daz right there. But obviously, right now there's no defense out there. Most of them didn't even show up because of voluntary. So we're not going to see nothing special until training camp or even preseason. Which I'm actually glad this is his first year because he's going to play in preseason. He's going to play, if not all of preseason, the majority of it. And we're going to be able to see him. He's going to give some real practice out there. And we'll be able to see if he's got the it factor real soon.
Oh, yeah.
That's an Andy Dalton throw right there. It's a pretty good throw. Goes Justin Fields again. Is that Harris? Yeah, that's Harris over there dropping shit. I hate Demetrius Harris, bro. He can't catch.
No, he can't.
We'll go ahead. I think that was all pretty much from Justin Fields. But I've been reading a lot about some of the experts that have been at the OTAs, and for not having defense there, he's looking pretty good. He's making sharp throws, but we won't never really know until obviously we get some people in his face, and some people trying to get interceptions, to really know where he's going to be at. But so far, supposedly, Matt Nagy is saying that he's everything that he envisioned, which could either be some bullshit or, it could be legit. But we're not there, so we don't know, and we'll see. We'll find out soon enough. What do you expect, though? Week 1, like, if it's all fair, if they're really giving them both opportunities to earn that Week 1 spot, who do you think wins it?
If it's all fair and let's say they don't pull this, we got Dalton QB1 BS, I think Fields will win the job if it's fair. I don't think it's going to be fair. I feel like they are like dead set on letting Andy Dalton start, and we just going to end up seeing Fields. I'm 100% guarantee you that we are going to see Justin Fields at some point during the season. I'm 100% confident in that. But I just got the strong feeling that they are dead set on, unless something happens in training camp or preseason where Dalton gets hurt or something, I just got the feeling that they're going to stick with him as the number 1 quarterback just because they said, they told him from the jump, you are going to be our starting quarterback. You are QB1. I feel like that's just where they're going with this. They're going to come up with some BS that Fields wasn't ready, blah, 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 or whatever. But it's like, I feel like it's a mistake. Because I feel like, this kid has talent. He's going to be our quarterback of the future. There's no doubt about that. That's why they draft him in the first place. Now, whether Nagy and Pace is going to be there for his future, that's a whole nother story. But Fields is going to be here. Now,
right.
I don't know how long Dalton is going to be starting. Like I said, I think Dalton will start. In my scenario, I got Dalton starting the first 3 weeks. I feel like the Bears with him is going to struggle the first 3 games. And then I got Fields coming in week 4. But, who knows? Maybe Dalton will do good. I don't know. But I'm sticking with my scenario. I think Dalton is going to play week 1, struggle. A lot's going to depend on the offensive line. We'll see how that goes. But I feel like first 3 weeks, I got, Dalton starting, and then I got Fields in week 4. That's my prediction.
I agree. And if they give him a fair shake at it, I also got Fields obviously winning the job. There's just too many things that are intriguing about the guy. Like, he's quick on his feet. He's got an amazing arm. We've shown footage here of him just dropping back like 7 steps and then just launching literally a 60-yard bomb, on the money. So
Yep.
obviously the kid can throw, and that's probably one of the main reasons why they're like, yeah, we're moving up 9 spots to grab this guy. And so far I'm actually, we had a couple of shows ago that we were just so happy that they actually pulled this move. So I agree that they're going to give him his opportunity. Nobody, moves up 9 spots to number 11 to draft a guy that they're not planning on playing, or they're not planning for the future to be around him. I mean,
Yep.
not only that, look at the weapons that they've put around him. Obviously we have Allen Robinson. We've had him. We have Darnell Mooney, who is freaking amazing rookie. And I hope we have another story just like that from him this year, where he's like evolved even more.
Yep.
So those 2 guys right there, sure-handed guys, right? Then we have a stud running back in David Montgomery. We went out and got some help in Damian Williams,
Yep.
and we got Tariq back now.
Yep.
Not only that, we went out and got a left tackle that's a monster, and we got some offensive line help, and I believe there's another guy that we're trying to bring in, just to try him out. So it's like, it doesn't even stop there. Like, I'll stop there just for the fact of the show, but they have so much stuff going forward that they've tailored it to Fields. They obviously did, because all those guys that I also mentioned on offense are quick. And then I also forgot to mention Marquise Goodwin, who's another fast receiver. It's just all this speed around in our offense, that when Fields gets out there, he'll be able to do well, because we actually got him some weapons. We got him some people that can catch. I didn't mention Anthony Miller, because we know how we feel about him, man. He's boom or bust, so we don't know how much field time he's really going to get. Now with all these new weapons that we have, now he's going to be fighting for a spot, and every time he gets there, he's probably going to be making a boom type of play, because he knows he's going to get limited reps, or he's gone. So I'm excited all in all. But I agree with you ultimately, though, that by week four, we possibly will be seeing Fields out there. Like, there's almost no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I just got a good feeling that's how it's going to end up playing out. But it's like, yeah, we got some guys on the offensive side, but a lot of it's going to depend on how well the offensive line plays, because that's what killed us last year. Our offensive line last year was absolutely terrible at the beginning of the season. I mean, not the very beginning, but like it started like once we got all the injuries and stuff and COVID hit and all that stuff. Once all that stuff happened, the offensive line just totally plummeted and it just killed us. That's why we ended up on that winning streak. We couldn't protect the quarterback. And then if you're a defense, you got a statue back there. He ain't going nowhere with Nick Foles. And you got he's no threat to run. It's like it makes it easier. Like with Andy Dalton this year. When you are a defensive player and you got a quarterback there's no threat to run whatsoever back there, that's one less thing you have to worry about. But when you got a quarterback that runs a 4.4, all right, and he has an arm, as a defense, it's like you're on your heels, because it's like if I'm out of my gap, if I like over pursue, this dude can run for like 50 yards on us and get a touchdown or something. Or if I overcommit, if I'm leaving my guy, I'm in the zone or something, I leave my guy, he could probably throw it to him and complete it to him and get a touchdown that way. So it's like it's more to worry about when you got a dual threat quarterback. Sure. When the quarterback is one dimensional, there's nothing to worry about. It's like it's not like he's elite. Andy Dalton's not an elite quarterback. Ain't like you got Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees back there. It's like, and Aaron Rodgers is a little bit more mobile than Drew Brees was, but it's like Drew Brees, that dude was throwing nothing but darts.
Facts.
It's like he couldn't run, but it's like the dude was probably the most accurate quarterback in the history of the NFL. Look at his stats. So it's like when you got a guy who's accurate, has a strong arm, and he can run, it's like it gives the defense headaches. If this kid turns out how we think he's going to turn out, it's like I can't see any scenario where he does not play this year. I just don't see it.
I agree, and I'm happy we have like I hope that we have the type of scenario where like when Russell Wilson first got to the Seahawks and he stole the starting spot from Hasselbeck. I forgot who it was at this point, but that's the same scenario that I hope we have. Like the guy just amazes so much during training camp, where it's just like if we don't play him, the rest of the players are gonna look at us like, why should we trust in you, coach? You're not playing the best player possible, you know. So exactly. I'm definitely hoping that we have that scenario, and yeah, looking forward to the season. Let me see here. As far as Fields, though, other than these small OTAs clips that I have, I haven't heard anything else pretty much. But I mean, that's because they haven't had that many practices. So you know, we'll pay more attention to that. Not hearing any news sometimes is good too, because you know you're not hearing anything bad. So yeah, we're all rooting for Fields, man. We're Bears fans here, and obviously we want the best for the guy. And Dalton too, like I said, if he starts off great and keep him in there, like if he's hot, if he has us at 5-0 or whatever, 5-2, 5-3 even, I'll still keep him in. We're because if you're at 5-3, we've seen our schedule here. Let me just put it up just for showing purposes. If he's 5-3, that means that by week 8. There's some good teams in that first 8 weeks. You're telling me that Andy Dalton beat 5 of them? Keep him in. Yep, you know, that means the defense is doing so well. Yeah, let's just keep, let's try to keep them out as long as possible while we're doing well. Have the same Patrick Mahomes feel. That's all I got though for this week.
Nah, man, no, I'm with you though. It's like, if Dalton's doing good, just let it ride out. Fields is still young. He can learn why he's behind, Dalton, just, let him sit there, watch and learn. Because, Rodgers sat for 3 years before he got the starting job. So it's like, you see how he turned out. And it's like, this kid has, pretty good potential too. So it's like, let's just see how it plays out. But it's an exciting time to be a Bears fan. We came into this offseason at first when they got Dalton. It's like, oh, my God. What the heck? Then they made the splash and got Justin Fields. It's like there's a sense of hope and excitement in the city now. So it's like, it's real fun, man. So I'm looking forward to it.
Facts. I mean, yeah, I still remember, I literally still think about it, from time to time. I mean, obviously it's only been a month since that happened. No, we're in June, so 2 months since that happened. And I still think about it. You and I were texting each other, all right, somebody's making the trade right now, and it was pick number 11, and it just so happened to be the Bears when we were like, yo, we hope that we get Fields over I think it was him and who was that other, Mac Jones?
Yeah, Mac Jones.
Yeah, we were, and they delivered. Now let's just hope that Fields delivers, the same way on the field. Goes out there and wows, and it's about time, like you say, almost every week. It's about time we've had a good quarterback. I'm so tired of having the same conversation every year. We don't have a quarterback. We don't have a quarterback. And I agree with you. I hope finally that going forward, Fields is the answer for the next 10 years, where for the next 10 years, if anything, what we're talking about is, damn, we could really use another weapon to help. We have the great quarterback. We could just use another weapon or whatever. That's a lot easier to find than, a quarterback for the next 10 years.
Yep. Yeah.
So I honestly hope it works out well for all of us. I figure we start out the shout outs. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Let me shout out my wife. As usual, she holding it down while I'm here. keeping the kids calm. I know I think one of them like knocked on the door or whatever. She had to reel them back in. But yeah, gotta shout out her for that. Shout out you as always, my partner in crime. Appreciate you. And then, shout out, we had somebody watching, so shout out to them who came by and stopped by the stream, watched us. So appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out my wife as well. Take your answer. Right now she ran out to go get us some food. Love her. She's almost due a couple months, so pretty soon I might show a little baby cameo. Wear some Bears gear.
Yes, sir.
Shout out you, my guy, for keeping it together and helping me put this show. And I hope that we keep just becoming more prosperous. I think we're almost pretty much got this thing down packed, man. We're pretty good at putting a show together in like an hour. So I just hope that we start getting a lot more views once the season starts. Obviously we'll start promoting it. So I'm excited. Appreciate you. And then shout out to our fan. It was most likely one of our three fans that usually shows up, which is either Eric, Josh, or Vic. So whichever one of you guys were out there, we appreciate you and slowly start building a bigger fan base here. And shout out. I look forward to next week.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. With that, we wrapping up. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see y'all